This is the 1 minute warning, and then we're going to go ahead and start the next meeting. Okay. Okay.
To January.
Okay.
That's item M.
Who was working on that one? It is time for the code revisions, appeals, and negotiations to go ahead and start. It is currently 6:25. Roll call, please.
Mayor Taylor.
Present.
Alderman Hayes.
Present.
Alderman Kirkwood. Present. Alderman Moiseo. Here. Alderman Seeger.
He's somewhere.
You have a quorum.
Okay. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from the November 7th, 2022 Code Revisions, Appeals, and Negotiations Committee? Can I have a first?
First.
Alderman Hayes, second?
Second.
Okay, Alderman Moiseo. Roll call, please. Actually, we can do an all in favor, right? Yes. Okay. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Okay. I thought I saw. No. Yeah, wait a minute, just a minute. I thought I saw Alderman Seeger. Okay. Any opposed?
No, ma'am.
Okay. New business. Item A. Can I have a motion for an ordinance amending provisions of the Waukegan Code of Ordinances regarding casino facilities and casino gambling? I need a first.
Yeah, I'll give you first.
Alderman Hayes, a second.
Second.
Okay, Alderman Moiseo. Any questions to the motion? Okay. Roll call, please.
Mayor Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Hayes.
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood. Alderman Kirkwood. Alderman Kirkwood. Oh,
Is he?
abstaining?
Oh, yes. No.
Oh, he's abstaining.
Okay.
Okay. Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Okay. At this. Okay.
Alderman Seeger.
Okay.
We're
going to have to seat him first.
Yeah.
Did we finish a vote on that? Do we have a quorum on that vote?
Let's see.
We don't because we had some abstain, right?
We have a quorum in the meeting.
Yeah, but did we have enough of a quorum to pass it?
No.
Okay.
No, we did not. So let's.
Okay. Can I have a motion to seat Alderman Seeger?
So moved.
Alderman Moiseo was the first, a second?
I'll
Alderman
second.
Hayes? Okay, so now we have a quorum. So I will go back to item A. Again, I will ask for a motion to hear item A one more time. Can I have a first to item A?
So moved.
Okay, Alderman Moiseo, a second?
Second.
Alderman Hayes? Again, I'll read the ordinance. An ordinance amending provisions of the Waukegan Code of Ordinances regarding casino facilities and casino gaming, or gambling, I'm sorry. Any questions to that motion? Okay, roll call, please.
Alderman Seeger.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood is abstaining. Alderman Hayes.
Aye.
Mayor Taylor.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Item B, can I have a first for a motion for an ordinance amending the sign ordinance for casino signs?
So moved.
Okay, Alderman Moiseo, second.
Second.
Alderman Hayes. Any questions to the motion?
Mayor, I know I'm not in this committee, but can I ask a question?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. So the sign, I was just a little confused because it talks about a sign, but then it talks about stuff we're going to put on the building as well, correct?
Okay, so the sign ordinance is what we're talking about here, but they will be putting things, but it's not advertising, it is artistic things on the side of the building to make it not look like a tent.
Okay.
I don't
It's a
know.
pretty big tent. It's going to be hard to make it not look like a tent.
Yeah, well, you'll only see it, I think, from one direction. It's not going to be on all sides. I'm going to have, the attorney is here for the casinos. Do you want to go ahead and talk? Thank you, Carl.
Good evening. I'm Carl Kimalucci from the Taft Law Firm. We represent Full House Resorts. So there's two components to the sign. Is this better?
Yeah, there you go.
Sorry about that. So there's two components to the sign ordinance. The first has to do with a sign, LED sign that will be placed near the entrance, and the second has to do with projected lighting that will be projected onto the north elevation of the sprung structure so that it'll be able to take the appearance of other things, and it won't just be a white surface. And so whether or not that's really a sign may be up for discussion, but since we were in the process of considering some amendments to the sign ordinance, we thought we would clarify that that would also be permitted, and the sign ordinance imposes some regulations on the projection lights to make sure that they don't impose a burden on neighboring properties and things of that sort.
Okay, and that's what I wanted to kind of clarify is there are a lot of residents, apartments right in that area. So there will be some kind of, I don't know what word I'm looking for, but some kind of assurance that this won't be like shining in people's windows
These are
or
not spotlights. These are a different type of light. So you can set them like, I don't know, you could do like 50 feet, 100 feet, something like that. These will be farther back, but they will only project onto the building.
Okay.
And there's no advertising that goes with that.
Okay.
That's
All right.
correct.
Thank you for the clarification.
You're welcome.
Any other questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood. Alderman Hayes.
Aye.
Mayor Taylor.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, thank you. Item 3 is old business. This is for discussion only. If anybody wants to discuss anything under the city manager or the resolutions for item B or C, you're more than welcome to. Otherwise, we will go on to public comment. Is there anybody who wants to have a discussion at this point or not?
Your
Yes.
Honor, it's not pertaining to these three, but it could be, in a way, we have that nonpartisan thing dangling out there. We had a first and a second. I think it was in a committee of the whole. I don't know if it was here.
It was not, it was,
in a committee of the whole.
yeah,
But I think, that has to be put to bed up or down.
right. So that we can set under committee for the next meeting.
Because, I mean, again, I don't, so, correct me if I'm wrong, Counselor. By statute, you can only have 3 questions on a ballot. So if the nonpartisan goes on there, that's 1.
Right.
Then this becomes more difficult.
But all 3 would have, any of them have to be voted on first, so they have to pass out a committee before.
Right.
So the chances of you having more than 3 that would even come up would be,
But we'd have to take the other one first because that was motions and second before these 2, correct? Or not really.
I'm not sure, I think they could all go up at the same time. But that,
All I'm trying to get to is how anybody feels about this, good, bad, or indifferent. At any level, and anything we do, you can't have a motion in a second and just let stuff stand out there
Right.
forever and a day. It's got to be voted up or down, however you feel about it.
yeah, it'll be, we can go ahead and
Can't
put it
spell
on the
out for
committee.
6 months or 8
But I
months.
believe
It's gotta
that
be
was,
voted.
I
And
believe,
that's all I want, is that nonpartisan to get out there and people vote their conscience and we go on, and then we go
Yep.
from there. That's all.
so I can't remember for sure, was this a final decision on December 19th? Do you remember?
I believe my understanding, I wasn't here for that meeting, but my understanding was the committee decided to keep putting this on the agenda under old business until that date.
Correct.
Then we'd be up for a final vote.
Correct.
On December 19th?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, so what we can do on the other one is have that come to the December 4th meeting, because that's already been through committee. So we'll have that come up on the December 4th, but it wouldn't come up under code revisions, it would come up under committee of the whole,
Thank you, Mayor.
okay? Anything else that anybody wants to talk about, or do we hold this discussion? There doesn't have to be a discussion. Yes.
Mayor, in our aldermanic meetings, we had a group come in and talk about, did everyone get that same opportunity?
They were, if they weren't able to be here, they were able to see a videotape if they wanted to see it. Yes.
Yeah, I had access to the videotape, yes. They were not there when I was there, but I can get the videotape if I need it.
Okay.
Yes.
Any other questions or
I have a
comments?
comment generally, if we're opening it up to comments. I think it's important, I'm glad that we kept it on the agenda, just so we can talk about it if anybody's willing to do so. I'm obviously in favor of changing the form of government. I'm more in favor of getting it in front of the residents of the city of Waukegan and letting them make a decision. My personal beliefs are one thing, but getting it in front of the voters, I think is not only paramount as it relates to this issue, but it is, I think, first and foremost, the most important thing we do as a city council is ask hard questions, make hard decisions, but at the end of the day, put it in front of the voters and give them an opportunity. And I think that this was echoed several months back when we had the discussion about whether to vote in favor of a city administrator. Everybody who was against voting for a city administrator, the reason they gave was because they thought that it should be put on the ballot. They thought it should be a referendum. They said the voters should decide. So at this point, what we're being called on to do is not vote in favor of hiring a city manager, not vote in favor of the city manager's salary. It is to just put it on the ballot. And it's worth repeating. There's nothing more important that we do than to give voters an opportunity to answer the question that we're posing. Not very many people show up to vote. It's a shame. It's a whole different discussion. But we can't discount the people that are showing up and try to make a decision for them. We need to present them with the information. We need to have confidence that those that show up to vote are informed and will read the ballot and will make a decision. And whatever decision they choose, at least we gave the people of the city of Waukegan the opportunity to show up, to vote, and to make that decision for us. So I am calling on, and will continue to call on, everybody on the city council to put it to a vote. Give it to the residents of the city of Waukegan. Everybody loves to talk about their constituents. My constituents this, my constituents that. Well, this is what you do. Give your constituents the opportunity to vote yes or no. The other thing I really want to point out, and we've done it many times, but one of the many benefits of a city manager is that it depoliticizes the day-to-day operations of the city. Every mayor has an agenda. Mayors historically have all had an agenda. If we have someone that is running day-to-day operations without worrying about being elected or re-elected or catering to a certain group of people because they owe them a political favor or not, or they don't like someone or not, it takes the bias out of the decision-making. It makes it a much more objective operation, at least on a day-to-day basis. And again, this is what we owe the people that vote for us. The taxes that we talked about earlier, all these taxes that we collect, this is an opportunity. We are giving back to them by giving them the opportunity to vote for it, but by giving them really what they deserve, which is somebody who can come in and take an objective look at what the city needs and, like I said, just depoliticize decision-making. Because at the end of the day, we're all potentially running for re-election, and there's other things in play. So if we have a city manager who serves at the pleasure of the city council, and it takes a majority of the city council members to terminate a city manager, then it is I just think it's a much more efficient way of running things, and I think it's a much better way of doing things, and I think the people of the city of Waukegan deserve an opportunity to vote that yes or no. And however they vote that, we will respect it, but give them that chance. I'm asking every alderman up here to give the people the opportunity to vote it up or down. And I will remind all of you that that is the sole reason that you gave for voting it down before on the city administrator. So, you know, when it comes to a vote, I think that you're going to have to answer to people because those are the reasons you gave before. So I strongly recommend you revisit your prior comments and make sure that you're voting in line with them.
Thank you. Any other discussion at this point?
Mayor, I know I'm not on the committee, can I say something?
Sure.
So I wholly 100% agree with what Alderman Hayes just said, and one thing he mentioned was efficiency. And for those of you who did not see the presentation on Thursday, IBM did an analysis of cities with city managers, and they're 10% more efficient across the board. If there's anything this city could use, it's more efficiency. So how anyone can sit up here and say they're against a city manager is just beyond me. So anyway, I can't say it any better than what Alderman Hayes just said, so thank you.
I think all this referendum does is bring it to the people. It doesn't decide on the city manager one way or the other. It's just bringing it to the public to make a decision. That's all this referendum states. With there being any other further discussion before we move on? Okay. Any public comment? Okay. Alderman Villalobos? David Villalobos, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, cool. Hello, David Villalobos, 4th Ward resident. Regarding this dialogue about a city manager, give us the choice, pass these resolutions to give the community the choice and the opportunity to voice their thoughts and opinions about it. It would be a bad, what's the phrase I'm looking for? It'd just be bad service not to give the community members a choice, at least. Give us the opportunity to voice our opinions. So please vote in the affirmation of putting these up for the community to decide. All right, thank you. That's what I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Okay. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Okay, Alderman Mozio, second by Alderman Hayes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.